Welcome back to Project 94 for another Diecast review here on the channel. And today, we're going to be looking at another 2023 NASCAR Diecast. And today, we're going to be looking at Joey Logano and his 2023 Pennzoil number 22 Ford Mustang for Penske Racing. This one right here is going to be Joey Logano's special Las Vegas paint scheme, which pays tribute to Steve Park and some of the original Nissan GTR Pennzoil race cars from the 1990s. But in the NASCAR community, it's mostly going to be compared to Steve Park because it's the most well-known paint scheme to compare it to in the NASCAR community. But nonetheless, it's a retro-style Pennzoil paint scheme, which I really like that they decided to change it up this year for Joey Logano. They usually always give him the fully yellow looking paint scheme with the pattern on it. But this year, they decided to go retro with it. And I like the retro. As a person that likes retro things and paint schemes and such, it's really cool to have this diecast get made for Joey Logano. I really like it a lot. So yeah, this is his normal Pennzoil car, no shell, nothing on it. It's the legitimate Pennzoil paint scheme with no shell logos. This is pretty much the Vegas paint scheme that he spun into the grass and got a DNF with. So sadly for Joey Logano fans, that's all this is going to be known for. But in my opinion, this paint scheme should be known for how beautiful it is. As a retro tribute to the original days of Pennzoil. So let's get this diecast out of the box, and here it is, and it looks to be a matte finish. So if you guys like matte finish diecasts like I do, you're gonna enjoy this one. Here it is, out of the box and ready to be reviewed, and I gotta say, man, the matte finish definitely makes this car for me. I love matte finish diecasts, and to have a black and yellow matte paint scheme is so cool to see this car. And of all drivers, Joey Logano to have a matte yellow and black paint scheme, which is really cool. I like the way they designed it. It's very much inspired by the original 1990s and early 2000s Pennzoil race cars, including Steve Parks' car from DEI. So, of course, it's not going to be exactly like the Nissan or the DEI car because, you know, copyright, especially with the Earnhardt DEI livery. But it's still a cool design they came up with. So let's get this diecast review on. So you got number 22 in the front right there. No Penske logo under the headlight. Got the Ford Mustang front end of this thing. No major decal errors, thankfully. The two Sunoco logos on the corner of the front nose of this car. On the hood, you're going to have Pennzoil with the giant hood vents covering up the Pennzoil logo. You have Logano and a blue Ford logo on the windshield banner, so they got colored in manufacturer OEM banners up there, so that Ford logo is blue. A blue Goodyear logo on the fender, but yellow Goodyears and gray, the very light silver rims on this car. But of course, the wheel wells have the blue Goodyear logo. You got NASCAR Cup Series, the 75th anniversary logo for NASCAR. You got number 22, Pennzoil, Joey Logano. You got Ford, PPG, Mazak, and Coca-Cola. Discount Tire, Cap Gemini, AAA, and Auto Trader. Just nothing on the hips of this car. It's just plain yellow hips. They did not put shell because this is not meant to be the shell Pennzoil car. This is just the plain Pennzoil car, so that's why there's nothing on the the hips of this car. It's just all plain matte yellow. On the back of it, you got 22 Crew. You have Pennzoil right there. On the back, the Ford license plate for 2023 and the number 22 on the back of this car. This back of this Ford Mustang. The light is really shining on this thing, so sometimes it'd be hard to read the decals on camera. You have Jiffy Lube right there, which is another big Pennzoil partner for that big race at Vegas. You got Logano and Snap-on the roof. And now for the paint scheme itself, we're going to start off with the basics. Let's start out with the number. So on the roof, it's got a white outline with a black number fill-in with the iconic Penske 22 font. Same thing on the doors, except you have an extra yellow shadow. It's like that the number can be readable on the door of this car. It's like that the black and white don't blend in with the three stripes. It's got it under the headlight and under the taillight, and it's going to have the yellow background to the one in the back. So now for the paint scheme itself, you got a black spoiler, black roof rails, and a black splitter on this thing. And the way it's going to start, very simple. So you have a bit of a black valence, but you're going to have two thin stripes that look to be evenly spaced on the front. It's going to wrap around the lower OEM details on the front of this paint scheme. And it's going to swoop past the wheel well right there, or swoosh through it, and swoosh across the side of this thing. And it's a bit slanted, so like that it can have some style to it, so it's not just fully straight. It's got a bit of slant to it, so it can kind of look like it's leading into the wind, so to speak. At the two thin stripes evenly spaced, and then the thickest black stripe to just round out the bottom portion of this paint scheme. So pretty much that's the stripe scheme wrapping all around the front and sides, back and front. That's the pattern, the stripes that are going to go all the way around. And on the back of it, you can only see the two stripes. On the back, you got a bit of one of the stripes cutting through the taillights right there. Then, of course, a stripe to the middle, and of course, the thick black stripe that wraps all the way on the underside of the paint scheme, or the lower stripe. It's going to wrap underneath the bumper as well. On the deck lid, it's all yellow, and kind of like the original DEI paint scheme, it's going to have the side pillars of the roof and the windows, the pillars. The side pillars are going to all be black on this thing, just like the original DEI Steve Park car was, where the whole top of it was just body color, and then the side pillars would just be all black around the side windows. So that is pretty cool. And so it was a pretty quick die-cast review because the paint scheme is simple. Of course, the biofuel logo. So we're going to give you guys some 3D, just close-up views of this thing. Very cool paint scheme. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus. I know the lighting looks weird on a matte die-cast, so I'm going to do the best I can here. So here's the front of this car, right here, the Ford Mustang. There you go, a little better. Here is the hood of this car, the Pennzoil. Here's the right side of this car, close-ups of that. Like I said, very simple paint scheme. Here's the right side. Here's the back. Here's the deck lid. Here's the roof, the upper portion of the car, the hood and the deck lid. Here is the left side of this car. And here's the under tray of this car. And that right there is going to be Joey Logano and his 2023 retro Pennzoil car from the Las Vegas race, the first Las Vegas race in 2023. So yeah, guys, honestly, this has got to be one of my favorite Joey Logano paint schemes in my collection, just for the fact that it is a retro-style paint scheme that is not for Darlington. This is actually for just a normal race, if you can call the Vegas race a normal race, with all the Pennzoil sponsorship all over the place. And, you know, Las Vegas is one of Logano's better racetracks. Kind of funny how, you know, he's the Pennzoil driver winning at the Pennzoil track, just like Jimmy Johnson was the Lowe's driver, always winning at the Lowe's Motor Speedway at Charlotte. So I guess that's like the modern equivalent, except it's Joey Logano and Pennzoil this time around. So that has been the die-cast review. If I can bring the box back in the shot. The bubble I tore out of it, but here it is, the box itself and the die-cast right there. So that has been it for Joey Logano and his retro Pennzoil paint scheme from the Las Vegas race in early 2023. So when I first saw this car on track, I was hoping it was going to get a die-cast release, and it did. And we can be grateful for that. So let me know what you guys think of this die-cast in the comments down below. Thank you all for checking out this die-cast review. Comment, like, subscribe, and please share these videos with your friends and family so we can get some more Project 94 followers and subscribers. Thank you all for watching. It's been Project 94, and always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your die-cast.